into that particular event would be quite different from the one that might go, let's just say, if it's a local show. In the same way, if we're going out of town, let's just say Kumasi, it's quite different how we prepare for that show than how we would prepare for a show in Accra. So in the preparations would inform the charges that we're supposed to give to whoever is calling us for the show. So say somebody wants us for a show in Kumasi.
Okay.
We have to do with transportation. Not just transporting the artists, but the band. Say Kwabna has to play with a band.
Okay.
So you have to factor those charges in it. Are you renting a car for the crew? Is the organizers getting a car for you? Are they getting flights for your artists, the team? All those things are factors that we look at. Then you'd have to look at security. You have to look at everything that is involved in getting the people to the venue and back. We're looking at all those charges that would involve in sending to the organizer. And then again, maybe we might have to add dancers. Is that a factor? Yes. We'll have to look at all these things. So when you put all together, and then you have to also pay the artists, say management, we'd have to pay the artist for the show that we have charged for him. We'd have to pay the band. We'd have to pay everybody that's involved in the travel, plus pay management. So these would, inform our decision on the price charge we should give you.
Do you also consider the type of event it is?
Yeah, sure. Sure, we consider all. If it's a dignitarian event that has a lot of high-class people, the charges are different because then we have to go all out to make our artists look exceptional on that stage. Whatever we do on that stage has to be exceptional. So we look at all those things. It could be, pass-through. Yeah. If it's a pass-through show, that charges are also...
Which one is a pass-through show?
Say Calibos is doing a show.
Okay.
He knows Kwabna that much. And he calls, Charlie, be me. I beg you, you can't support me. That is a different charge from...
so that's a pass-through.
Yeah.
So that you perform like one.
It doesn't matter the number of... You have accepted to go for Caliber. So it doesn't matter the minutes you want to spend on stage. Okay. But the pass-through is you wouldn't give him the same charge like I'm giving Mekwikwe, who's going to get Guinness on his
Hey, don't talk that.
Please count that.
We don't say like, don't bring me.
They can't bill you. They can't bill you.
Yeah. So if Mekwikwe bring show, Ghana DJ Awards, and we see Guinness on it, it be.
So when you see sponsors,
yes, when we
big
see
sponsor,
yes, then we know that the thing it be cooked well. So Raya call me, say, some Coca-Cola Ghana. Hey.
Slap me. Take slap me.
You see, so all these things would actually inform the management decision. You have to also run it by your artist back and forth. He also wants this. Management says this. It's a long fight. Sometimes you need to explain and explain before he gets the idea that, okay, if we Ghana Music Award, say there be our people. So you know what, you don't worry. They say they will give us 10K. Okay, don't worry, make we take them. Sometimes he might be like, Charlie, but these people last year, they used me. Why they won't use me? All these things. The back room conversations are something that, like, most event organizers don't also know. But it's hard convincing an artist to, go on an event and looking at the charges is one of the most difficult parts of our job. Yeah, it's one of every manager, it's one of the most, unless maybe you are the errand boy that the artist is dictating for you. But if not, you have to deliberate on that issue, explain, tell him the benefits of what he also stands to get if he gets on the stage. He might know, but go a blind eye on you like he doesn't know. So drum it, and then he'd be like, yeah, okay, all right, cool, no problem, you make we do for them.
I know one artist, he can agree, okay, let's say he's going to take 100,000 Ghana cedis for an event. The moment he sees more sponsors,
he sees logos.
You see, the moment he sees more logos, he'll call you, Sikani so amumfe binka.
Yeah, but he's right, though. Listen.
But that wasn't the initial
When
agreement.
I say he's right, listen. When I say he's right, when you
Yeah.
presented the contract to him,
Yeah.
you probably didn't tell him who and who was on.
Did you put logos on the contract?
No, wait. That's why I'm saying he's right. You know, professionally, you should like be open and transparent with every dealing. When you are going to meet an artist, you must tell him, because maybe let's just say I'm affiliated to another sister station. Me and them have our contract.
Oh,
now I see
okay.
this station day or nam.
Oh,
Why you
okay.
not tell me? So if I say add money before I come, you don't know my reason. So I'll be clear. Like Kwabna, we are affiliated with Joy. Everything we do, he would ask first, is Joy on? You understand me?
Yeah.
So if Joy sees us doing something for another station, how is Joy going to feel? And how is the artist himself going to feel?
Let me find out from Soraya if she's found herself in this situation before. And Soraya manages EL, a situation where used to. Okay. Soraya used to manage EL in a situation where maybe you've agreed to perform at an event. How do you call it? The price and everything is sealed. Then you see more sponsors on the flyer later. Do you go back and say, pay me more?
The issue is not the sponsors on the flyer. Like Ashes mentioned, the
Yeah.
issue is the type of sponsor.
Okay.
So if you're contracted to, let's say, Guinness, or you have a relationship with Guinness, sometimes even when you are contracted to the company that's on the flyer, let's say I have a deal with Guinness,
Yeah.
and Guinness has an understanding that my fee is 50,000 a show, but because it's Mercury or Philip, I agreed to 30,000 a show. If I later on find out that Guinness is sponsoring, I have to go back and make sure that fee goes back up to 50,000, because it then affects my future business. Because Guinness now says to themselves, I'm no longer going to book you. I'm going to book you
You're
through
an
Mercury.
agent. Now you've messed up the guy's business.
You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of factors when it comes to these things. And Ashes is giving me a lot of, like, let me call it PTSD, because I'm thinking back in the day when you finish negotiating the deal
Yeah.
and then you go to VIP and then one member changes his mind. Forget
Forget.
about it.
Forget.
All of them. Forget
Yeah,
about it.
forget.
Forget about it. It's not a case of the money is good. It's one person has changed his mind out of the three. It's a balancing act. So it's a very important thing that we have a conversation on. It's something that has changed extremely, I'll say, in the positive. Like, things have definitely gotten better.
Okay.
In the past, it used to be very bad. Payments used to be very, very bad for artists. I would say if you wanted to make a lot of money as an event planner, your business should have been like 20 years ago. You would have made a lot of money back then.
Okay.
Now, not so much.
Yeah.
A couple of things happened. Artists started doing their own shows.
Yeah.
All right.
So when they did their own shows, they started understanding the value of, let's call it, the value of a city. Okay? So first and foremost, the cost of doing the business. A lot of artists took that, they didn't realize the cost of putting together an event.
Yeah.
So when they started doing their own events, they started realizing that, okay, event planners do have a point. But then they also realized something. There's a lot of relationships. So a lot of business can be done without money. A lot of business can be done without money. Like Ashes mentioned, I can have an event in December and have all the biggest stars on the event and not fork out one city because of relationships. So you will see that a lot of artists will do a lot of dealings with stations, with other artists, with friends for their event at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Which, as an event planner, if I'm an outsider, no matter what I do, I'm not going to get those deals. There's very few people that Sarkodie will move for. But if Elon picks up the phone and says, Nod, what's up? He's going to move for him.
Yeah.
And we know Sarko, you can bring the biggest budget. If he doesn't feel it, he's not feeling it. And it's not happening. So there's a lot of things that you get from being an artist that the event planner doesn't get.
Okay.
So once the artists started doing their own events, they started realizing, okay, there's some benefits that we have. But then they also started seeing the pitfalls. The pitfalls is sponsors don't pay you up front. So a lot of events are self-funded.
Okay.
So you might have 500,000 Ghana cedis worth of sponsors on your artwork, but you're gonna get, if you're lucky, 100,000 upfront. And if you're dealing with a proper company, they're gonna sit down and review the event before making their final payment. So they have the right to pull back some funds. They have the right to say, you told us we're gonna have 5,000 people there, 4,999 turned up, so we're not paying the whole amount. You didn't meet some safety issues. You didn't do this. You didn't do this. You didn't do this. So therefore, we are taking back some of the agreed sponsorship. That's one thing. So a lot of things come into play, but I think that it's at least 10 times better than before.
Wow.
Yeah, at least 10 times better than before.
Interesting. Let me come to Mercury. You are wearing many hats today. DJ, MC, event organizer. But you,
But in
I
the
think
wear
you,
jacket,
Invisible.
yeah.
let's play your side of MC for now. Before you charge for a gig as an MC, what do you consider?
Also, a number of things, and as Soraya said, it's not a one size fits all, kind of thing. It will be platform based, So for myself as an MC, it has to do with what experience I want to deliver at the event, and I think that's one thing that is more or less a problem in this country, and that's the reason interest is lost with time regarding even fans buying tickets and things like that, because they come and because there is not enough for the creatives to put up an experience. It is the same thing, all the time, or CDN, that kind of thing. So it's the same kind of vibe. Me too. Charlie, we can hear you, So it is the same thing over and over again. And this is because maybe as an MC, I have an ask, but an event producer or organizer is not ready to, pay, for that. So as a result, you have to cut down on your plan regards the experience you want to give. Okay. And this happens a lot. Last year's Guinness Ghana DJ Awards, we invested about 100,000 Ghana cedis in Edem's performance. Edem did the opening act, where he had the Ghana Symphony Orchestra, do their thing. It was very beautiful, and I mean, there's a lot of reviews about that. So, how do you do that, or how do I do that if you are not ready, to invest that much? So you say, oh, okay, so it's just MC, you are coming. Okay, Edem is just, just come and do a new VR there and go, So that is what the problem, happens to be. So, like I said, it will depend on what experience I want to give when it comes to the event, and that would inform, what the charge will be for that. Also, like Asha said, relationships, in there, you're looking at who, is engaging you. Sometimes you're looking at prospective gigs that will come from the same quartets, so all of these come to play.
Have you done some of the performances for free, maybe due to relationship?
I have done many for free.
In
this country, you can't survive without doing, it for free. But I think that what is very important is to have your mind on the silver bullet when you are making these moves. I mean, I have a relationship with Kwabna Ashes, so yes, he might do something for me that looks like it's free, but it's actually not free. Because there's butter, going on at the background.
Give me and do give you.
Yeah, we don't even say it, but it happens, So that kind of thing. So yes, definitely.
Kwame.
Yes,
sorry.
Soraya.
There's something that Mercury said. I think for me, it's like one of the biggest topics we have to address with the audience. At this moment in time in Ghana's creative history, I think that Ghanaians as an audience are the most spoiled audience ever.
Whoa.
Yes.
Right.
We talk about the event organizers, we talk about the talent, we talk about DJs, MCs. Everybody's putting in their weight, but the audience does not pay. Let's I think if we're going to have this conversation, let's have this actual conversation.
It's a series, actually, so...
Yeah.
The audience does not pay.
Yeah.
True.
Let's ask ourselves why we're expecting 500,000 Ghana cedi performances from celebrities, from artists, and we are not willing to pay 50 cedis, 100 cedis a ticket. How many events houses are doing 500 Ghana cedi tickets at 5,000 seats sold out? It's not happening. And then we're expecting the artists, the DJs, the event. It's a system. So if somebody, the money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And if I am willing to get good health care by paying a doctor for private health care, but I'm not willing to get good entertainment because I want it free, but then I'm somehow sitting there going, oh, the event organizers are not doing their job.
Yeah.
Event organizers are late usually because they can't afford to book the venue for 4 days. They can't afford to book the venue for 4 days because if they decide to charge you 1,000 cedis a ticket, which is the actual price for a ticket, and when I said actual price for it, $1,000 is how much now? Other 1,000 cedis was $100.
Yeah.
Yes. So an actual price for a ticket, if you go to any venue around the world, standard price is between $50 to $100 a ticket. If I'm charging $100 a ticket, and you're not willing to pay for it, where are we expecting them to get the funds to run the business? We are saying sponsors. The sponsors have to get the value.
Exactly.
So now, as a sponsor, if I am Guinness and I'm investing in the DJ Awards, am I getting the value from it? Am I getting the value of the money that I'm putting in it?
Yeah.
So if I'm putting in $500,000, $200,000, or 500,000, 200,000 Ghana cedis, because now the cedi is stronger. Yeah, don't give me dollars. The cedi is stronger. If I'm putting in 200,000 cedis, right? Am I getting that worth of products?
Okay.
Or are you expecting to come to a Guinness event and still get Guinness free drinks? Do you understand what I'm saying? You are coming to the event for a quarter of the price of which you're supposed to be paying for it, and you want free drinks. But if you and what annoys me is you step out of, let's not even go far, you step out of Accra and you go to a cultural event in a village, right? You'll pay more than you normally pay for the bottle of beer. You'll pay more for the hotel you're staying in. You pay for food. The Akrantia is normally, let's say, 100 Ghana. You're willing to pay 300 Ghana with your friends. But the thought process of actually paying 200 cedis for the event that's actually bringing you to the town, it seems something that's foreign to us. And that's a problem we have to figure out.
So my producer says this is a different topic. And so we have some of the patrons coming to the studio.
I think the artists, but we need to talk about it.
No, yeah, it's
because we talk about why
So-
artists are not delivering what they need to deliver.
Exactly.
And like Mercury said, it's because they're not getting what they need to get.
You have a good point.
And they're not getting what they need
Yeah.
to get because we're not willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Then I can also come in as an audience, someone who wants to go and watch the
Yes.
show.
Okay.
Now, am I allowed to mention it?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Mention it.
Artist names.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Oh, no,
go
do.
ahead.
Okay, many are some more.
Uh.
But anyway, let's say I've been to a particular artist event before, and he keeps on doing the same thing every year and every year.
Yeah.
Now, if you are coming back the following year to tell me I bought a ticket, let's say 500 cedis last year, and I'm raising it to 1,000, and I know what you're coming to give me, you think I'll come?
So you see,
No, so don't
I
come.
can already
So don't come.
Yeah.
I can
So you see-
premeditate
so perfect,
what
don't
you
come.
do.
domino effect.
So this, yes,
So-
yes.
so- no, so
It's like a
perfect.
chicken and egg
Yes.
situation.
Yes, but the issue is that we have a lot of chickens and no eggs. We have a lot of chickens. Like we have, let's call a spade a spade. If you look at the movie sector, people are pumping in better cameras, better actors. They're paying for more school fees. That everybody's upping their game. Music, people are upping their game. I'm not saying that there isn't any bad eggs. I'm saying majority. Let's call this. Come on, guys. Back in the day, some of the shows that they used to do. Let's go back. I know we like to say hip life was a time of good. Let's be fair. Like some of the songs, some of them weren't even written by us. We just download the track from America, we sing it in Chi, and then we
Translate
release it.
them.
We were doing dubbing. But let's call a spade a spade. Production is getting better. Music is getting better. Performances are getting better. They might not be your favorite, but they're getting better. My point is, what's not getting better is the cost of the shows. And as a people, we are willing to pay for everything else
but
but the show. And I don't understand it.
It's true.
Like I said, we go to Kwewu, we will pay 5 times the hotel to go see Edem in
Even go to
Kwewu,
the
but we won't
clubs.
pay to Kwewu.
to watch the art.
We will pay for the after party.
That's true. That's
We will
really
buy a
true.
table at the after party for 30K
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see the artist that you were supposed to pay 1,000 cities to watch.
That's true. That's so true.
And it's crazy to me, and it's
That's
something
so
that we don't tackle. And until we tackle it, we're gonna have the same thing. Because as an artist, as a person, that I know that this business has a shelf life of 20, 25 years max. First and foremost, to break an artist is not easy. Whether you're a DJ or an MC or a comedian or an actor or a musician, it's not easy. Everybody wants to do it, so everybody's doing it. It's like footballer. There are a number of people you have to go through to get to the top and be counted as one of the people who's made it, quote unquote. For me to get there, and then when it's time for me to get paid for what I have put in maybe 5-10 years worth of work in, now I'm being told, oh, do a few years of free show. Okay, great. I do my a few years of free show. Now I get to like a Samini or Kwabna age group where I'm like, okay, now I'm settled and I should be able to collect the big bucks. Then you're telling me that what? You're not going to pay for that, but you're going to pay the hotel? You're going to rent the cars, you're going to pay for the after party, but not the show?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
Because you know what?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
90% of the people that you see, 90 is too much. Let me just count like 70. 70% of the people that you see at venues or event grounds are on complimentary tickets.
That's a big problem that we discussed the previous week.
People do not want to
pay
actually
for it.
pay for the concert. When we are doing this Kwabna thing, they want the VIP table, but they don't want to pay. They
And
will
so-
call you, oh, that's so they'll speak all the language in the world.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to pay and come and sit down? I remember I was going to give Honorable Sam George a ticket. Kwabna asked me to go and give him a ticket. When I got there, he wasn't home. I left the ticket. He called me. Then he said, why did you leave a free ticket? And I said, oh, Abi, you are a patron? He said, no, but if I keep being your patron, who's going to buy? Who's going to buy? Is that what you do all the time? Then you're going to lose. He said,
It's bad
He said,
business.
listen, how much are you selling your table? I told him. He paid double. They were not in power even. They were in the position. He paid twice. He said, we need to support. Yeah. But how many of them will be like
And
that?
I don't
Okay.
and I don't even like the word support, because I feel like support makes it sound like
Okay,
you're
Soraya,
doing people a favor.
There's another creative on Zoom now. He's in the US. He is a comedian. Let's speak to him and then find out how he also charges the event organizers. Let's speak to Obi Amponsa now. Obi. Hello, Obi.
Hello, neighbor.
What's the neighbor? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. How is your comedy exploit in the US?
It's been a journey. I mean, it's going fairly well. I get a chance to explore new challenges and explore a new set of audience that I'm not usually familiar with. I get to do jokes that I haven't done before. I get to see a different culture and try to fit my jokes in it, and it's quite fun if you ask me. Yeah.
That's awesome. Today we're talking about performers and event organizers, and that what informs even how much you charge for performances. What do you consider before charging for a performance?
Right. So what do I consider? So for us in the comedy business, there are shows that we have the shows that are like full-time comedy shows, or how do I say, like the whole event is a comedy event, more like those Easter comedy show put together by Nabil Event Factory, Chatterhouse, Thousand House. They used to have one global media used to have music magic comedy, and so those shows are in a different bracket. And then there are also shows that let's say events that an event company is putting together for a company like maybe MTN, Vodafone, EcoBank, and then they require your services as a performer. And so that is also in another bracket. And then you have the shows that your friends are putting together, your comedy friends are putting together. And they invite you as well to perform on that show. And so that's also a different bracket. And so the charges for each of these shows are different. For a show like Charterhouse and Night of Easter Comedy Show, or maybe a show outside the country, uh, the for us, okay, for me and an accomplished, no, I was an accomplished comedian, an A-list comedian in Ghana.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me and A-list comedian in Ghana, I have a certain charge that, for, let's say, Charterhouse. The first time Charterhouse contacted me, that was somewhere in 2015. I didn't have a charge. It was them that mentioned the price they had for me. They had come to see me at a show organized by another comedian, and then they were like, "We like you. Would you like to perform this and money?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to take it." And so that was in 2015, and then gradually we started building. So now, like the next event, they came with their own amount as well. You know, I didn't even bargain it. I didn't bargain. On that show, I actually bumped, so I wasn't called for the next event, and I wasn't called again. But in 2019, I put up my own show, and that was my first show, Voices in My Head at Snap Cinema. And I realized that, oh, okay, even if I'm not called by an event company to come perform, I can do my own show. So let's see how this one turns out. And from there, 2020, 2021, 2022, it's been like every time I try to put together my own show. Now, when the event companies also realize that you're able to do that yourself, it kind of pushes your bargaining power up by a notch. And so when they come, you're able to also mention an amount that you think is fair to you and the hustle you're putting in
What
your
is the
craft.
highest amount you've charged for a performance?
That would be 30,000 Ghana cedis. Oh, well, not charged, like paid.
Paid.
Yeah. 30,000 Ghana
Has
cedis.
there been a situation where you were paid lesser than you bargained for, or you agreed on?
Oh no, what you agree on, you pay me. Well, this guy, the RTP guy. Yeah. I think we agreed on 2,000. He
Prince
paid me
Mackay?
1,000. Yeah, Maki. Yeah, he defaulted in paying, but the other companies, they agree. Once you are done with the performance, you get your check. Charterhouse, you get your check right after the show. They have everything. You get it. Nabil, you get it. But I mean that no, RTP was some years ago, but that was just beside the point. So yeah, uh, when you're able to bargain well, so that's with the full-time comedy shows. Like that's how I decided to call it. And then we have the um, maybe uh, these agencies that the companies work with, and so maybe
Okay.
they contact you and they're like, yo, there's this MTN fundraising, there's this EcoBank staff dinner. We would like you to perform. How much do you charge for a 10-minute performance and all of that? And so because you look at it like it's not really a ticketed show. Uh, this is people coming to have fun. And for us, not like they're coming to, I mean, everybody has fun at an event, but this is more like they are organizing it for their staff. And for me as a comedian, I came to the realization that the shows that we earn from are from these corporate people, because they have this nice callback thing that when they enjoy you, they will always kind of use you, and they will actually recommend you to other companies as well. And Charterhouse only organizes a show once a year. Nabil organizes a show once a year. So if you kind of like leave it to them and your show that you organize over Boca, you won't get anything. So basically, it is the corporate companies that are like your bread and butter as you run through the year. So maybe once every month you get this corporate show that you go to. So you kind of are a bit lenient with your charge because you want them to come back again. So the price that I would charge for Charterhouse, I would probably divide that into two, and charge that for like the agency that is contacting me. So that is like the kind of deal we okay. Well, Lexi does that as well. That we seem to have for. So we have like a fixed package that me and Lexi and the other A-list we have for these kind of events. Then we have the shows organized by our friends. Like if Romanus is putting together a show, I'm not going to even charge him. I asked him how much you're able to give me, because I know he is not getting anything, especially without sponsorship. And so I understand him on that friendly level. So yeah, that is how the charging system actually goes.
I know you comedians have a network or an association. Do you have rates as in benchmarks, for example?
Well, it is not a communicated benchmark, but it is more like an agreed amount amongst ourselves. So myself and Lexi is somebody like I can discuss these things with, and we have this, because usually when the agent or the event organizer contacts you, okay, and then you mention a price, then they go like, okay, if that is Obi's price, okay, let me contact Lexi and also hear his price. And then because we are on that understanding, as like this is where our brand is now, we should have a mutual price that won't like water down our efforts. And so if you come to me and I mention the same price, and then Lexi also mentions the same price, now you are like, okay, then let me go for who I want to use. And so there's that understanding there. Even for the young ones, when they are booked for shows, some of them actually contact us and then ask like, oh, I've been contacted by this company. What do you think? Because they know we have been in the industry for a while, they ask what is the standard money that they can charge for where they are, also like the level they are at, and we're able to give them a fair amount that they're able to charge, and usually the event companies agree
Okay.
to that. Yeah.
Have you ever had to turn down an event because the amount of money they wanted to pay you was very, very low?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes. I mean, at a point in your career, you need to do that. For me, I've done quite a number, and then the good thing is that the next time they come, they agree to your amount, because they went for somebody who they thought could deliver the kind of performance you would give, and the person's performance was a little abysmal. And so they're like, I mean, we should have paid that amount for OB and then gone for the best. And so yeah, but there are times that when you lose that money, you're like, yo, I'm going to go hungry. But I mean, that money when you're losing it is tough, because usually you want to convince yourself that, Charlie, I'm home. I mean, quite 5,000. You know, me find year 1 2 1 2. You know, me 2 is me now. Me na me charge you almost 10,000. You know, I mean 5,000. Then bad. You know that
Yeah.
hunger mentality. Into one show, yeah, you just go for that. But when you're able to stick to your horses, and then keep up the work and the grind, usually event organizers pay you your worth because they see your grind. They
Okay.
see that, okay, this guy just returned from Rwanda, Zambia. This guy just returned from South Africa performing to foreigners. You think we can approach him with this kind of money? And so when they realize the amount of effort you put in your brand and how you're pushing your brand, they kind of like meet you with that amount of money. The problem with some event organizers, and I love how they incorporate comedy into shows now, because they've realized
Yeah.
that people need to laugh, and it's amazing. We appreciate that a lot, and we pray for more of that. Even if you cannot afford OB, there's quite a plethora of comedians around that you can use now. But the problem is that some of the event organizers do not want to talk to like maybe a manager. Like they usually
They want a
just want
direct
to,
conversation.
yeah. And me, I'm just a comedian. I cannot like talk to you with money. I will just cave. I will just be like, "Enya me lie." So talk to somebody who is able to have that conversation with you. In fact, the person will be talking to me as well, but it strikes some kind of professionalism, and then it strikes that balance that this person is able to talk to you and negotiate with you on your own, like on the same level. But that is something that some event organizers are
Okay.
unable to do. OBS I contact you there, make you talk man to man and all of that. It doesn't really help with us. Some of the middlemen, like I was saying, some of them sell us short. Some of them sell us short, especially when they know the company is able to provide for that. Like, the company may make a budget for like 30,000 for OB, 50,000 for OB, but they feel like, I don't think OB deserves that much. And they come to you with an amount that is a bit lower than the 50,000. And when you take it, then they end up just devaluing you. Now the company thinks they paid you 50,000, but in the end it was like 15,000 that you got. So these are some of the difficulties that we kind of face when dealing with some
Interesting.
event companies. Yeah.
Okay, Obi, stay on for us. We're still having a
I'm
conversation right
here.
here. Now, let me come to you, Ashes. What are some of the red flags that any performer should look out for when negotiating for a performance fee?
Yeah, that's one. That's like key.
Yeah.
And then dishonesty on the part of the organizers. Like we're saying, if you know that it's a sponsored thing, okay, just declare. Make we all know our stand. But don't take the thing one, oh, come do for me. Then I go reach there. They come do for you. I go reach there. I see Guinness.
Maybe as of the time they were speaking to you, that brand wasn't on board. Maybe they were still talking to them.
Some of the sponsors come on board really late.
Late.
They always come on board really late.
Yes.
And then sometimes event organizers come on board as an experience, not necessarily financial gain.
Okay.
No, but you see, still declare.
Yeah, but
I'm saying so. Wait, hold on. I'm saying so. I'm saying so based on.
It's one crate of Guinness.
You declare for a year.
Okay, Ashes.
I'm saying so because you see, I've had issues as a manager.
Yes.
Explaining to the artists, and it's a headache, you know, and it affects his performance because he feels he's been underpaid. You understand me?
I think sometimes it's just you even feel like you're taken for granted. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
you're being told something that's like this, I've had situations with an artist where you're being told, "Oh, Charlie, I'm the event organizer. You're like my brother, bro. This is just between us. I'm really trying. It's my first event. I'm putting it together. I'm giving you all that I can give you." Then you know what your colleague charges, and then you see your colleague on the bill, and when you have a conversation with your colleague,
Yeah.
and the colleague has received his full payment, but you are understanding, brother.
Yeah.
Then it becomes
Disrespectful.
and dishonest. And I feel that's where people start getting, then people harden up. And then next time they're unwilling to do the next favor. And the next, and then becomes a knock-on effect. Everybody, you don't perform as well as you're supposed to. Because you don't care. At that point in time, you don't care. You're just doing it because let's just make it happen, And then you have some sad manager in the back there begging everybody, please do it. So I can go home and sleep.
There was one event that we had to do in Kwo, one of the Easter gigs, and then the organizer, came to, as usual, talk plenty. Okay, we took the gig. Money was not anything to go for. We even had to pay our band by ourselves just to do it for our brother. We got there, then we saw there was Jack Daniels on it. There was this. He said, "Oh, them they come in last minute. They say make I help them." How can you tell me Jack Daniels say make you help them? How you they help Jack Daniels?
A whole brand like that.
How are you helping Jack Daniels here? Now my artist gets to see dress rehearsal. Then he looks at the thing. Then he looks at me. I know I'm in trouble. His mood there and there is gone. Not like because he wants much money, but he's thinking his management didn't do due diligence. And it's hurting him. Because if you are the artist manager, You should know everything. We had an event with one of our brothers, right, out of town, Kumasi somewhere.
Okay.
And we had discussed everything, fine-tuned everything, ready to go. Ready to go. The day of the event, my artist sends me a picture with his image and a heavy sponsorship. And then he goes like, yo, is it that you guys didn't do your job? Or we are being taken for a ride here? And we say, oh, but this is before a brother. Oh, this one, they know. He said, no. I wouldn't do that to my brother. I wouldn't do it. If my brother really respected my craft and brand, I think he should have just told me.
Yeah.
Ashes, let me come in here.
Okay.
You know, it is very important to also take note of the fact that just the way we have brothers, you know, within the industry. So, do we have brothers within the corporate, you know, space?
Yeah.
So we have brothers as well in the Guinness, Ghana, in, you know, the other institutions that you can think about. So I think what I take away from what he's saying is there must be clarity.
Mercury, that's all I'm saying.
In communication.
Yes, in communication.
Yeah.
So,
Just tell the brother.
Yeah.
That, oh, Charlie Guinness Day on, but they bring us crates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It solves a lot of things.
Yeah.
So,
Solves a lot of
BMTN,
issues.
they give us SIM cards.
Yes, because you know a lot of time, a lot of time, because you know the corporates, you know, organizations are not ready to sometimes offer as much as they should to ensure quality even of these shows.
Yeah.
Some event organizers also, just because they want to have a good image, are quick to embrace. Okay, some what you call sponsorship. You know, just to have, say, a Belacqua, you know, on the thing, because you know the fans out there will say, oh, the event there, no logo, no sponsor on the thing, so they want to look.
Oh yeah. I'm getting where you're coming
You're
from.
getting.
Event organizers will put
Oh.
the full company logo there.
When they're not offering anything.
Yes.
The companies have no.
So it looks good.
But you see,
So it's just like the event organizers.
Hold on that count.
Yeah.
How does the artist suffer on that one?
Yes. So, but that's the thing. It shouldn't be at my.
You understand me? How does the artist suffer for you not doing your job? You're
Yeah.
going to put maybe a Joy FM that you know that you and Joy FM has nothing to do in
Thinking, you know, sometimes you put Joy, expecting that at least I'll hear my name on Joy FM. But Joy FM doesn't even know that.
common. What about you doing anything? And if the artist sees this and he's pissed, you say you know they're
Wow. Then event organizers sometimes go and beg people to come and fill the auditorium. They still
Of
go and
course.
pick people's logos to
Yes.
put on their flyers.
Yes.
You are doing the most.
It becomes a bragging right for them among other
No, but
events
but
organizers.
it comes back to my
get know
point
that.
that
Yeah.
this doesn't benefit
Anybody.
but
Yes.
the audience. It's the only the audience that they get a free show, they get a free samples from Guinness, they get a free concert,
And it is
they
because
don't pay.
we're offering this to them on a
Yes,
silver platter.
We are always doing this.
But the companies also benefit. Do you know why? Because
Yes.
if on the
Of
night,
course, they get the visibility.
if I have 50,000 people in an auditorium and they see my brand,
It's visibility.
And it's
put
for
down
free.
them.
Yes.
and
They
event
don't care.
organizers also have fallen into traps of sponsors where they'll say, "Oh, Charlie, this year budget no day." See, say budget, it starts from June. So you for now,
So you just
for you
put the
for
logo,
now,
you know, yeah,
you
people
put the
just, yeah,
logo.
for
I go
what
come set up a bar. Then July we'll have the conversation. September,
Next year.
telephone. That's how they do it. Because everybody in this system, unfortunately, everybody's trying to rob somebody. That's my problem. Everybody's trying to rob somebody, and because everybody's fighting everybody except for the people we need to fight.
Oh.
The audience.
you see, one
The
of the-
audience are the people we need to fight.
This audience there.
Audience.
One of our biggest,
Take it easy on us.
No, we need
Kwame.
to deal with it.
Yeah.
one of our biggest loss in this industry
Yeah.
that was cushioning the event organizers and the artists and everybody involved in this space was the alcoholic beverage people.
This matter. Yeah.
It's true. They have the cash to pay.
And they voted for the people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm joking.
You know, with them, they'll give you the money and they'll give you products. You know, so the place they be, as when they come, drink the flow and everything. But once they pulled out Where do you...
They didn't pull out. They were made to pull out.
Okay, yeah, they were made
Let's
to
call
pull
it
out.
what it is.
Yeah, they were made to pull out.
We are
yeah.
governed by a terrible law that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Doesn't
thing is so
benefit
crazy,
anybody.
like,
It just
and we are all sitting here watching. We'll go to court and some judge will just rule on this matter saying we should go and sleep. But they won't agree to it. Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
And we're suffering. In our space where our telcos have pulled out of events. In our space where alcoholic beverage people have pulled out of events. Who's going to do the event again?
Big question. Let me tease Calibos's mind on something. do you really think, now we're still speaking for the performance, that the organizers most times factor the performance in their planning? Do they do that?
Well, if they really, if most of them really did, then I think we would have seen the difference in performances.
Let me catch you there. Sorry, Calibos.
Please.
They
so,
do.
You will come in and beg.
They do.
That's what I say. If
let-
most of them, because I will speak from
Soraya.
a normal.
Have you put together yourself?
Soraya.
None. But then I'm
So he's
speaking from.
as
Yeah.
a fan or a patron of an event. Yeah. No. Today. Today,
Let me not be a performer.
Now an event organizer.
today he's a patron of an event. Calibos, please go ahead.
I don't even start.
Start.
You see, reason why I'm saying this is I'm talking from experience as a person who will buy a ticket to go and watch a show.
Yes.
Right? Which several times, year after year, one has been Sarkodie for me. Right?
Yeah.
And per the amount I used to pay and how it goes on every year and the differences in amount, you see it in the difference in, performances. You understand? So me as a person buying to go and watch his performance, I know that there's something going on that is going to be different from what I saw last year. Do you get what I mean? So if I think it should be. Sorry, why you watch me too much like that? I think it should be an open forum for the performers and organizers
to come and clash,
to sit and have a dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I'm laying down. This is how I want to do it. These are the people I'm going to bring on board, and this is the amount it will all factor out. Now you know your budget and you know what you're doing. Okay, what are the sponsors you have in? So I think if this conversation should be involved with the performers, the performers in an event or something, it will boil down for each party to have a clear understanding of what should come in or what should go out, and then we didn't have the problem of how do you call it? Audience not paying the right amount to come and watch, and then organizers not also giving us the rights
because they don't have.
But do you know that? Okay, with regards to what you're saying,
but rather
Audience don't have.
No, not audience.
Okay.
It's talking about organizers.
No,
not
I'm just
audience.
saying with regards to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you know that like Ghana Music Awards? It is difficult. It's the most prestigious. You might call
entertainment
it
event on the calendar.
But you know that its price tag has stayed at one point for the longest of time. It's hard for them to move it.
Yeah.
Because the patrons would not want to pay more to have that event.
Yeah.
So if they go to sponsors and then maybe they have a budget cut short, it affects the performer.
Of course.
Because they can't give you...
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, they cannot give you the budget that is required to bring 30 dancers or 20 dancers.
Let me even add to that. With something like TGMAs, year on year, the amount of invites that the sponsors take increases.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
It increases.
And then you work with them, so this.
It increases.
Yeah.
So you make less and less every year. And I wanted to cut you off because you said something. You said, do they think of how the performance is going to be? Every event organizer, first and foremost, is a dreamer. It's like a movie director. You sit down, you dream your event. You dream, okay, if I had no budget, this is how I'm going to start off. This is where I'm going to go. It's going to go like this. It's going to go like this. It's going to go like this. Then reality hits. Budget, technical know-how, ability, and your profit margin. And then you start chipping away at your dreams. No event organizer is putting together an event going, I'm getting the worst performer. that I go stand there and say, DJ start again. Nobody wants that. Everybody wants the right thing. But the reality is, you want to book a venue. There's no venue in Ghana now that will allow you more than 12 hours setup for free. Anything above 12 hours, you're paying.
Yeah.
There's no venue in Ghana, including our own National Theatre that we pay taxes for. You pay for setup. So that's one. There is no lighting team that's going to rent you lights for 3 days whilst you're setting up. He will charge you for the 3 days. So it's not just the actual day of the lights. Oh, and we go, the light is shine for one eye inside. The light is shine for one eye. Yeah, because he had 12 hours to set it up, something that would have taken him 24 hours. When we worked on Afro Nation 2019, we had 21 days of setup. 21 days of setup. Sound rolled in for 12 days. So when we talk about things like, oh, TGM is the sound, I'm like, yeah, because the same people that worked on the Afro Nation that had 10 days of setup had 1 day to set up for the TGMAs.
Not possible.
It's not possible. And the thing is, we as an audience, we want. When I read social media, see, follow me.
Let me chip in here. And you see, per what he's saying, that comes to affect the performer.
It affects the performer.
It's a chain.
How many days can he rehearse?
Same days, minutes. You're on stage and the next guy is
Afro Nation,
standing
it was
there.
in your contract. If you didn't come for rehearsal, you didn't get paid. In actual fact, you got your first payment and agreement.
Okay.
You got your second tranche after rehearsal. You got your third tranche after performance.
Including all the foreign
Everybody
whiskey, though.
Everybody came before. We set up 20. I'm telling 2020, 2019 and 2020.
21.
22.
22. Yeah.
22. We did 14 days of setup, 21 days of build, 14 days of setup. So I was on grounds 21 days before the event started. I was one of the first people to roll on grounds. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the first thing, funny enough, one of the first things that you built in Afro Nation setup, Global Citizen setup, guess what? Is the tent for the artist and the tent for the technical crew. Same thing with RNAQ. It was the first thing we built. Tent for the artist, tent for the technical crew. So the technical crew had a place. If you're working 12 hours, lunchtime is food setup is it happens on the first day. We set up on the first day. Then where their office is going to be, that happened the second day. RNAQ, Global Citizen, all of those things. And what do all those things have in common? They have the budget. And so they are able to make things happen. So when we sit here and we say, oh, and then I went to this person's show and Grand Arena, December, 21st show, 22nd show, 23rd show. I did a conference at the Grand Arena in the morning when we got there. Somebody had finished doing wedding. There was they were clearing their rice and stew and things. that night, the person finished the wedding. He danced till 2-3 in the morning. He danced finish. He go out. They are now clearing the rice and stew from there for the conference to start at 6 in the morning. It's because we don't have the venues.
So there are many variables.
To this. But most importantly, the audience is expectant of too much. Because you see, do you know the fastest way for us to get venue? Show profit margins. And so we can sit down with governments and say, here are 10 event companies who use these venues and are able to turn over these profits.
Okay.
Invest in a venue.
Yeah.
But you know why we can't do that?
Why?
Because you don't buy tickets. Name 5 of the biggest shows you've ever heard in Ghana from Titi. Let's go as far back as what's it called? Shaggy. How many free tickets do you think that was? The Guinness Eruption concert. Everybody talks about it. Akon was in the mayor's ball, swimming up and down. How many free tickets? You didn't even need to buy a ticket for that show. So if Guinness couldn't afford to do Guinness Eruption, that show would have never happened. Global Citizen, free event. The only events that we've had that we pay for is Afro Nation, and Afrochella.
Yeah.
And Afrochella have their struggles. Afrochella is trying to be an Afro Nation, not in that way, but I mean, they're trying to have the same setup time, but they have a Ghanaian budget. That's the reality of it.
Let me come to Mercury. Now, let me take off your MC hat and then put on event organizer hat. So if you are organizing your event, where do you place performers on the list in terms of priority?
Well, of course, they are high, on that, because without performers, definitely the show can't run.
Yeah.
But you also, so there's a difficulty, like Soraya was saying. It is very unfortunate that you are looking at your budget and venue. I mean, we are talking about Grand Arena, we are talking about Palms Convention Center, and my brothers and sisters here will tell you what goes into that. So already so much is going away, and your wish would be to actually be able to invest this in the performers, because they are the when it comes to the radio station, when it comes to TV stations, they are the presenters, they are the DJs, they are the front line. So it would actually make a lot more sense to have more, for them. But unfortunately, the reality is that they get the less, because it is just impossible to give them as much as they deserve. And I'm saying this because, like I said, I find myself in two departments when it comes to this space: the event organizer and also
the performer.
Because the last Guinness Ghana DJ I was, for example, I produced and performed. Yeah, so I had a battle with Andy Dusty. Andy Dusty is actually calling me. Andy
I
Dusty
saw that.
So yeah, so it is quite difficult. But I think that in all of these, I still would want us to find time to sensitize, educate the public in the need to start paying attention to paying for these shows. Our friends, this event is coming, and you have your friends call you, oh, Charlie, ticket. They, like Honorable Sam George did to Kwabna. It would be nice to have our friends to call and say, you know what, I am supporting, not even support, I'm paying for. Yeah, because when we say support, I think that's one word that we've used in this industry for far too long.
Yeah.
And probably that is why we are not taking it like
need
support.
to pay for value.
Yeah, you say support. When brands come in to sponsor events, we need to understand that they are not supporting. They are coming in because there's value.
Yeah.
They are
Return on
tapping
investment.
into. Yes. Now we are not even talking about return on investment. We are talking about return on objectives, because they may have some objectives that you have alignment with. So let us look at these things and make sure that we're able to turn it up.
You know what I've noticed about this conversation?
Yeah.
Even the performers and the managers here are sympathizing with the event organizers.
Of course.
Again, like I said,
Because they know.
I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
I said in the beginning
Yes.
that things turned over when artists started handling their own events.
Yeah.
It was very easy to have that argument when you didn't know what went into.
But now
into
you feel it.
Yes. Now you feel it. Let's not even go too far. You had a situation with, for example, Medical's team that had the accident on site for the event. So that's another ball game. Beyond the person who was physically injured,
Yeah.
the damage to the equipment, that alone is somebody's whole investment.
Yeah.
Somebody like, what's the Shatta would say, Papa Frankie. Somebody, Papa Frankie. Papa Frankie's investment into sound equipment in this country is more than somebody's whole manufacturing budget.
Yeah.
And then they will tell us that the creative industry is not a serious industry. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like Frankie's dad's investment and Frankie's investment in sound alone is somebody's big business in the country. Yeah. And so when I call Frankie to do an event with me, and I'm saying Frankie sends me a bill of 300,000 Ghana cedis, I want to cry, but I also understand that if I want what I want, this is what I have to pay.
Yeah.
And if Frankie is charging me 300,000 for a setup, and what's it called? Tony is charging me 70,000 just to dream the stage, and when I say just to dream the stage, because you know that he's gonna deliver something that's like unbeatable,
Yeah.
right? World class. And then you have performers, you have this, and you're looking at 800 to a million Ghana cedis worth of output, financial output. You haven't paid artists yet. and you have
You
10
see?
artists.
You see?
You haven't
happy
paid
you are
artists
hearing
yet.
all this.
And then you start
When I
paying
come to you
artists,
next
right?
year.
And then we have to divide. Let's not even
Yeah.
go far. Then we have to divide this 2.3 million Ghana cedi budget between 5,000 tickets. And then I tell you to pay 150 Ghana cedis for the ticket, and you are complaining. It doesn't make
all.
sense.
I don't think
No,
event
you see, I didn't-
organizers
I
even
didn't-
make money from this.
I
They
didn't
don't.
I didn't used to
They
understand. I didn't understand all this until we started doing.
Doing
this.
our own event.
Doing your own event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a time I had a
But that's
conversation with
actually
Philip.
helped.
No,
Yes,
wait, hold
that's
on,
what I'm
hold on.
saying. Yeah.
He's here. There was a time I had a conversation with him, and then he was.
You mean
looking
Philip?
At, yeah, Philip. Yeah.
Okay.
He was looking at the sponsorship
Mr. Nam.
they gave us, breaking it down.
It doesn't
and
make
looking
sense.
At the profit margin. They look at me and say, "Charlie, you go."
No, I remember one time, and like not to attack anybody. I remember one time we did, we did the first bar concert. I wasn't part of the organizers. The
Okay.
second one, I was part of the organizers. But I worked on the first bar concert, but I wasn't part of the planners.
All right.
The second one, they were going through the sponsorship conversations, and I remember Stefan drafted an email response to a sponsor. If you had pressed send, if you had, because you see, it's so infuriating. Like when you finish, you sat down, sponsor a year ago. We've agreed. We've had a conversation. We've gone back and forth. We've agreed on the budget, and we'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. And you do a lot of things in good faith. You start making steps in good faith, and then the sponsor comes back to you and says, "Oh, budgets. Let's manage it." If Stefan had pressed send on that email, I'm sure this whole Ghana
Would have exploded.
because it doesn't make sense. And then you look at it and you're like, okay, how do we go, forward? And I really want us to make a distinction when we talk about profit margins for events. So we're not talking about like every event has to be like 100, 200,000 Ghana. Nobody's saying that. But even if you take something as simple as Alliance Francaise event and you break it down, Alliance Francaise venue comes with some basic sound lights setup.
Yeah.
But it also has its downsides because Alliance Francaise is held by a financial organization, which is the French embassy. They already have restaurants and vendors in the venue. So you can't come in and control food. You can't control, which a lot, if you know anything about event planning, that's where you make majority of your money, from the sales of food and drinks. So it's a give and take. But as Ghanaians, we now have this attitude of saying, this guy, they do show for Alliance. Like, we downgrade it. But you're not willing to pay for something more than that. So you go to and you say, but I saw this amazing show by Trigmatic at Alliance Francaise.
Yeah.
Oh, but they do show for Alliance. And you're asking yourself, if we go above the 50 CDs that Alliance is willing to take, or 100 CDs Alliance is willing to take, and take it to 350, 400, 500, is the audience willing to pay for that? So there's something about the audience that is starting to seem very, I want to say, spoilt rich kid. Like your puppy, them, my money finish, but you still feel like there's money at home. So you have this attitude like, oh yeah, I still be DP, but really truly you be Zongo boy. Like, relax.
Yeah.
It's really bad. We need to really look at that.
All right.
One last thing I want to add. Yeah?
Okay. Ashes.
Sometimes I cry for the event organizers
Oh.
because you see, being an artist manager, and
Philip, we thought we were bringing performers. No, the performers are event organizers.
no, but let's be real, yeah. Because
The matter of what?
the organizer will call you and then you will charge like 60,000,
Yeah.
70,000,
You don't
100,000,
get.
and then you get to the venue. Sometimes, if you're a real person, you stand and ask yourself, how is this guy going to get his money back?
You don't get.
Even from your charge alone. Then maybe you have 3 or 4 artists on the bill. Everybody has charged like 50. Okay, let's just base 50,000 each. And then you reach there, seats are empty. Complimentary Zala. How is this guy going to pay?
I don't
up all the bills?
think event organizers ever make any profit margin.
That's what they said the last time they came here.
If they do,
Some
then
do.
I think there's no
I think-
complimentary ticket that goes out.
No, wait. I was with this guy in Kumasi last year, 24th night. There was this show at one of the McLean or one of the hotels.
Okay.
And it was huge. Kwabna, Florian Ponsa, da. The organizer middle to the show, was standing with me with a champagne. He cash out.
I would say specialist times.
No, it's true.
Specialist times.
Mickling. It was Mickling.
It was Maitland,
Yeah.
yeah. Were you there?
Yeah.
The place was full to the. Oh yeah,
Yes.
I know the guy.
But he flew in. He flew in like half of Accra.
They didn't pay to come.
They didn't
And
pay.
he flew in.
Most of them.
You sure? No.
See,
no.
these were
But
not
maybe they had
No.
sponsors. Maybe they had
I
sponsors.
was standing with the guy. He was comfortable. If
What is coming from?
Yeah, but maybe they had
no,
sponsors.
listen, if the guy made losses, you would have
We are
seen
not
from
talking
the
about.
beginning.
Oh no!
because of the crowd.
Okay. It's Joy 99.7 FM, Showbiz A to Z, and we're having a conversation about performers, Ghanaian performers, and how they deal with event organizers. But it appears the performers and their managers I have here today are all event organizers as well. All right, 0551111997. When we come back, I would want us to look at the other performing artists, like the poets and so on. Do they also get their due? Do they get the respect that is due them as well? This is Joy 99.7 FM, Showbiz A to Z. My name is Kwame Dadzie. We're back after this.
For 11 years, we've taken you beyond borders. For 11 years, we've delivered memorable travel experiences. Now, it's time to see more and feel more with Adansi Travels at 12. 12 times the fun, 12 times the excitement. This August, explore the best of Europe, the UK, Dubai, Turkey, Singapore, Malaysia, Johannesburg, and beyond. With a team dedicated to your travel dreams, every journey is carefully crafted to leave you with unforgettable memories. Your journey with Adansi Travels is more than a trip. It's your chance to see more, feel more, and discover the world in a whole new way. Don't just stamp your passport, stamp it with incredible experiences. Call 0595 500 817 or 0531 008 550 or visit AdansiTravels.com to book your spot. Adansi at 12. See more, feel more.
It's the 18th anniversary of Dawn and Aisha, and the morning has started just great.
Grand Rising Ish Nation!
Happy anniversary, darling! But one question turns it all around.
You mean there's a lower point in our marriage than we're losing our baby?
Yes.
Oh, then this one I want to know.
In private, not online. And what begins as a celebration of love becomes a dramatic showdown.
Dawn!
In partnership with Joy FM and the National Theatre, Roverman Productions presents an original Ankeliboite play, Love on the Ropes, showing on June 27, 28, 29, and July 4th, 5th, and 6th at the National Theatre. Fridays at 7 p.m., Saturdays at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., and Sundays at 1 p.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. Rate 300 Ghana cedis. Tickets available via Callbar short code *365 *535# and at regular app or on the Roverman app. Call 050-554-6010. Sponsors: Gino Jollof Mix, Callbar, and Tilly's Tea. Communications partner: M Notify. Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
Feel the excitement. Enjoy the conversation. Come with us on this exciting journey of growth and personal development. We challenge you to break the status quo, step out and do big things. Catch host Reverend Albert Okran as he vibes with CEOs, experts, and change makers. Right here on Springboard, your virtual university. Now showing every Sunday at 9 p.m. on Joy News TV, 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, and streaming online on Facebook and YouTube. You can't miss it. Partners: MTN Ghana, Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Grows Program. A collaboration between MasterCard Foundation and Springboard Roadshow Foundation. Media partners: Joy FM, Joy News TV, and Graphic. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
Still right here on Joy 99.7 FM, the Superstation. This is Showbiz A to Z. We having a very interesting conversation right here. How the Ghanaian performer deals with event organizers. And this August, Adansi Travels is turning up the excitement as part of its 12 years of delivering unforgettable travel experiences. To get ready to see more, feel more, and explore some of the world's most exciting destinations, from fun-filled family adventures in Dubai to romantic getaways in Asia, thrilling escapes with friends in South Africa, or that long-awaited dream trip to Europe. It's not just travel, it's an experience you'll never forget. So call Adansi Travels now on 0595 500-817 or 0531 008 550. Or you can go to adansitravels.com to book your spot now. Let's make memories together this August. Adansi at 12. See more, feel more. Last week, Anita Te and I were at the National Theatre to see Riverman Productions play Love on the Roofs. It was beautiful and it's still staging. Yeah, this weekend, from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So today it's 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., 2 shows only. And then tomorrow it's 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m., 3 shows only. So you can buy your tickets 300 Ghana cedis via Koba short code star 365 star 535 hash. For enquiries and large purchases, you can call 050-554-6010, or you can send your WhatsApp to 050-554-6030. Buy your tickets now. And tomorrow is Pentecost Hour on Joy 99.7 FM, 1:30 p.m. with the chairman, Apostle Eric Nyamecha. So do stay tuned. Now, last week, when we came here for the conversation, we brought together some event organizers. Kwesi Ernest is CEO of Media Excel. He says something quite scary, yeah? Take a listen. Yes, sir.
Every event organizer you see in Ghana is a stroke victim.
Is what?
It's a stroke victim.
Kwesi.
Because
up and down.
You are causing fear. Up and
down campaign.
Explain.
Explain. It's a stroke victim. The reason is being that the kind of pressure event organizers in this country are carrying.
Oh, okay.
The kind of pressure they are going through. The kind of blood that is running through their brains before and after the organization of the event is something that medical people will find difficult to even check and come to a conclusion. Because you see, and these are the issues.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder how an event organizer comes up with a budget of 2 million Ghana cedis as budgets for the event. And then after the show, the event organizers funnel the whole receipts that he gets is 400,000 Ghana cedis. You spend 2 million Ghana, and all the money that you got after the event is 400,000. So what is the deficit? You have like 1.6 million debt to take care of. And I remember in London last year at the Ghana Music Awards, one of the events we finished and there was a debt of £27,000 that we need to work out and pay.
Which event was that?
Is it Ghana Music Awards?
Yes, Ghana Music Awards. UK.
Okay.
You know.
Who handles that? Was it
that's my boss.
Oh, that's Alodia's
event.
That's
Alodia's event.
Okay.
You know.
You continue.
You know, and so I say that all event people, and this is you see what my seniors the way the facts that they are churning out now, and some of the causes of this issues we are dealing with. One has to do with the fact that apart from sponsorships, we event organizers ourselves, we are too emotional to the people who are coming, to the patrons. We are spending 2 million. But on the table, when you get to even what time we need to we are actually thinking of how much to charge at the event. We are rather being emotional to the people who are coming, to the point that where we are supposed to charge 500, we say we will charge 200 Ghana.
Wow, that's Kwesi Ernest last week talking about his experience as an event organizer. Obi Amponsa, you are also an event organizer. What do you make of what Kwesi Ernest said last week?
Yeah,
Well, I'm not a stroke victim yet, but and I don't hope to be anytime soon. But when you're done with your event and you're calculating losses, then I mean it predisposes you to stroke. That I'll agree. The losses and then the pressure from GRA and oh my goodness, it's tough, especially without sponsorship. The sponsorship pool in Ghana is empty. It is drained, and there seem to be no, like, people will give you the assurance when you're organizing a show. For me, especially when I was putting together the show at Bukum Arena, I was like, as for this one dear, because it's Bukum Arena, Charlie. There's a space for people to come. There's vendors. Like if you are a company and you want to plug, you want to do like a promotion of your stuff. There's space for you to do that. There's enough people that are gathering at one place that you could market your wares or your stuff to. But literally, like the ones who would come aboard will come with products, and in the end, these products don't really like earn you that much or like help you with your budget. So organizing an event in Ghana, what we have come to understand is that it is for yourself. It is for you to improve on your brand. It is for you to make the audience know that, or make the people who love your crafts come to enjoy, for them to also know that you are there, you are still relevant, and for other people to see how hardworking you are, and for other event organizers to know your worth and then involve you as well. For ticketing, it is difficult. Everybody in the studio agrees with the fact that you'd have to, like, about 50% of your tickets have to be like complimentary. You have to like give them out to people to fill these seats, and then the ones who even come to sponsor come to you with some outrageous requests for tickets. You're like, okay, I'm giving you this amount, but I want about 100 tickets for my VIP. I want 50 for regular. You're like, come on, how much are you giving me to even request for all of this? And so when you're organizing an event in Ghana, it is a matter. It is a life. It requires your blood. It requires your blood and your sweat, and you kind of focus on the fact that I've told you before. After Bukum Arena, we made a loss of about 40,000 cedis, and this was because, you see, for us like comedians, myself, I cannot put together a show. And so when I was planning the show, I talked to Kofi Adinkra of African Arts Network for him to, if he accepted my vision and my dream, then we put together the show. And he was like, yeah, cool. He went to pay for the venue. Even renting the venue, it costs so much. For Bukum Arena, if you're paying for the arena, you also have to pay for the forecourt. Like, you rent both the arena and then you pay also for the forecourt if you want to like market wares there. And then with the sound, the stage, he had to sponsor all of that. Now in Ghana, if you're doing a show, Ghanaians require you to put a lot into advertisement. You cannot do a show now, like promote a big show, without putting up billboards. And these billboards cost a lot. And so you have to, like, and during my time, during my show, it was campaign season.
Wow.
So you'd be battling for billboard positions with Baumia, and it was difficult. And so we put in all of this effort and give out free tickets. And in the end, you're like, yeah, Equationers may be right. You may
But
be a
you
stroke
you
victim.
are not getting stroke. You are not getting stroke. You will be
No,
healthy.
inshallah, I won't get stroke. Amen. Amen.
Obi, thank you so much for your time today
Thank you
on
so
the
much,
show.
family.
All
Thank you
right.
for the opportunity to be on one of the best shows in Ghana. Proud of Joy, and shouts to Philip Na. He was part of my first show at National Theatre, Popular But Broke. He, Ricky, like, they made that show a success, and I'm super grateful to Joy Entertainment always.
Thank you very much, Obi and Ponsan. Now let's come in here and take our final remarks. Let's touch on Kwesi Ernest's stroke comment. Macri, are you a victim of stroke?
potential. Easy. It's not easy. But you know, the painful part is the audience.
Yeah.
The novices, you know, the laymen don't know what goes into what we do.
Yeah.
You see, they make their judgment based on what they see within this, you know, span of 3 hours, 4 hours. But it is months of wahala, preparation, negotiations, you know, fights, all of these. And so that is what I mean. Apart from the money side, this is the other part. You know, like Soraya mentioned, the preparation that goes into. I mean, we have Guinness Ghana DJ Awards is on the 29th of November.
Okay.
But already,
You started counting down the very first day.
from 29th of 24.
Yes.
November 24. That's
Yeah.
where we started counting. I think, there's
I was
never
like,
been any.
Mercury, why?
What's up?
Where they go?
But I mean, I think that is okay. So let's see how it goes.
Okay.
And then depending on how it goes, I believe that could actually become the module for, you know, some other events.
Great.
You know, I'm looking forward to a very exciting event this year. I'm sure we'll get into that. But back to the stroke, the subject. You know, there is a big difficulty. You know, if you work with organizations at the other side of the sun, you know, like the US, other places, you see how sweet it is to be in this space. It has never been about the money. It is about the ideas. It's about making things happen, you know, because the structures work, the system works, you know. So what concept? I want Calibos to be on the stage. What are you looking at? How should he appear? You know, so those are the kind of conversations. But here in Ghana, once you start talking about all these nice things, you get money. You understand? So that becomes the problem. And I hope that, you know, as a system, as an ecosystem, we're able to identify ways to make it happen.
Okay.
Corporate Ghana, you know, have a great role to play.
Yeah.
You know, they should understand that all the nice things that they want to see, it takes something to make happen. So they must be ready to dole out the money to make it happen. I see when people want foreign artists to come into Ghana to do stuff, how ready they are to do things they are not ready to do for local artists. It's very unfortunate. You know, you have people coming, they're ready for the flights and all of that. They're ready to do all of these things. You know, and if you go to them, they are ready to pay. So why are they not ready to pay for local acts to do these same things? So these are conversations we must have so that the pressure on the event organizers could come down. Frank Wache, I owe you. You talk everybody they owe. Everybody they. But talking about Frankie, you know, let me announce exclusively on Joy 99.7 FM that.
Yeah.
You know, Frankie has done a lot for this industry.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
And 116,500.
It be pay the o. It be pay the o. It be pay the o.
No, I know be. If it's a coffee bean, they talk about.
Was it not last week when Kojopoku said he was also owing some people?
That'd be only one side. So talking about Frank Kwache, I think he's doing so much for this industry, and this should have happened long ago. But it is always better late than never. So this year, the Guinness Ghana DJ Awards is honoring Frank Kwache. The pay that we will pay. The pay that we will pay. The pay. You know, he's done. I wonder how he is able to do. How he makes it happen.
He's a brother.
You know.
He's a brother.
And
he's the only go-to guy.
Yes.
I must say that with nothing, you can have a conversation with Frank.
Yeah, but you people should stop doing that. Because
I'm just saying.
I'm talking as Frankie's account.
Stop. No.
Because I beg you.
Yeah, but you see, it means that without him, maybe a lot of the events that we've seen may not have happened.
It's okay. Yes. Let me take Soraya's final words, and I come to Ashes then, Calibos. Yes, Soraya.
There's a lot that needs to be done in the industry. Yes, the event organizers can definitely do more for the performers. The performers can also definitely do more for the event organizers. There's something we didn't touch on, which very quickly.
Okay.
We need to be professional on both sides.
Good.
The artists need to be more professional we don't take it as, oh, it is a Ghanaian show, so therefore, and it's the same thing. Like Mercury said, we don't take it like, oh, I'm willing to pay for your flights and your hotel because you're a foreigner.
Sure.
But you expect me to leave whatever I'm doing and come for your event. We all don't live in Accra. So it's definitely on both sides. But I think the most important thing we need to do as an industry is we need to figure out as an ecosystem that we have spoilt the audience and we need to take them to task and we need to make sure they understand the value and the cost. I'm sick and tired of people sitting on social media and saying, oh, Charlie, you see the BT Awards, when we Three Music, when we Ghana Music Awards. First and foremost, they pay TV license. That's number one. Number two, they pay their taxes. That's number two. Number three, they pay all the music royalties that they need to pay. Okay? They don't download, they pay for, people talk about things like, oh, Super Bowl. Will people perform free at the Super Bowl? Yes, because people stream the music. They don't download it for free.
Don't pirate them.
Yes. So it's an ecosystem that includes the audience. And so long as the audience keeps looking at the creatives as second-rate citizens, they're going to get second-rate performances.
Thank you, Nana Pokuashis.
Yeah, you see, if there's a budget and it's allocated properly, I'm sure that if the artists would do more. This year, I witnessed the
Tajma.
GMA, and I saw
No, Vajayma.
I saw something different that they did. I think the artists were like giving some kind of budget to explore. So you see the stage was kind of full with a lot of activities, right? If there's a budget for you to bring in your dancers, for you to bring in your crafts properly to enhance it, why not? But if the event organizer is paying you, say, 20,000, you have to bring your band, you have to bring your kitty dancers, whatever. How would you do it? Like Kwame, you were at the Kwame concert, and you saw time on time how we changed the stage with different acts.
Shall I say how much?
That is a lot of money. So we the artists, we should really come together, right? And try and plead with the government to release that ban on that alcoholic beverage thing. And also plead with the tax people, the GRA people, right? They foresee inside small for us.
Government has promised tax incentives.
Yeah,
and
it really needs to come quick.
Yeah.
It needs to be enforced quick so that we'll have the event organizers having a lot in hand to be able to, meet the negotiation of the artists. So the artists can bring on proper performances. If I have a budget of, say, 100,000 to give you a show, Christ, I'll give you a show that will blow your mind. But if I have a budget of 20,000 and I'm paying my band 10,000, everything is gone.
Yeah.
How do I give you a show? I don't know how to do it. I'm not a magician. So I'll bring the artist alone and come and stand there. And he would ask you, Mintio, then we'll go out.
DJ Bonnie
ask you to sing.
Yeah, but if the guy has dancers, choreographers,
the Tumame.
I'll sit there.
I'll sit there.
But I'll sit there because Kaduswa.
I'll sit there. He doesn't remember the lyrics.
I'll sit there as well. But if the artist has the budget, he will give you a show.
Yeah.
He'll give you proper stage. Proper stage would be delivered. But hey, here we are. The thing is so limited. So we are crying. You wear the shada, tomorrow if you're not careful, you go wear the same shada again. Because the money no plenty for you to go and...
Then the same audience go tweet saying you wear the same shada. That's what it pisses me off.
You know?
They don't the audience now.
Piss me off.
The audience, they worry.
Yeah. So without that, you keep seeing the same show of an artist over and over again. If the artist is not creative, and if his melodies are not tight, if it's like, if he's like a flat artist, then you are going to see him like that every year on. But if he has a budget, he'll be dynamic. He'll try different things. Without that, sorry.
Great. Kali Boss.
Yes, I think I'll build up from what Ashi said.
Then when you finish, you add details of your premiere to it. Yeah.
Saying if the performers have the budget to work with, they can do a proper and deliver a proper show. I think if the organizers and the performers have this open, sheet of what goes on, the nitty-gritties of what's going on, whoever we are pulling, the money that's coming in, then we need to more in danger. You know what is going on, what's on the ground. So if you're coming up with a budget which will not even cut off for the even half of the total budget, then we will know who is not being fair here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I know they have a role to play. They have a performance. They have a standard to catch up and meet up with their audience. But then, at the end of the day, we need to know what really goes in and what comes out and who cut the laws, and then Mercury can also pay off debts and all that.
You pay Frankie.
And also,
the premier.
Hey, about the premier, we should cut off complimentary cards. Complimentary tickets.
Is it possible?
It can. Cause I don't know for this, but let's say Ghana Music Awards UK, right? You buying your ticket from Eventbrite and all that.
Yeah.
Do you go to that platform and you see complimentary tickets or anything?
No, but they still do. The organizers will do. They will give some people complimentary tickets.
Nothing.
Available. There's no more complimentary.
Because trust me, these complimentary tickets take like almost half of the whole.
According to some of the organizers, they do that to fill the auditoriums.
And you know what makes it so sad? Unfortunately, let's say you don't have a situation like Honorable Sam George who will say I'll pay for it. You go and give it to some big guy. He will come late.
And come with an entourage and say,
Thank you.
My boys, if you find them VIP then.
Because he didn't pay for it, so he doesn't value it.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, Mercury Quay.
You see a driver.
Calibus is not done.
Maybe the driver sitting on VIP.
Calibus.
VIP. Yes,
Okay.
So on the 9th.
A case too late.
Yes, a case too
now
late.
they remember.
Yes.
I should remember. Because there is too late in there.
And it's
And I was there.
Wearing him bad.
Yeah, so on the 9th of August, that's where I'm premiering the movie.
Okay.
A Case Too Late. It features myself and some new upcoming acts that I was really blown away with their performances. So it's a very relatable family, storyline which everybody can watch. So it's at the Silver Bear Cinemas. It's showing 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Ticket is 100 Ghana cedis, and I'm stating it emphatically here: no complimentary ticket. No complimentary ticket. If you want complimentary tickets,
I will not get complimentary tickets.
No.
It's 100
No.
You know
The only complimentary get is pictures.
Let's do this. Kwame.
Invoice.
No, you see,
Let's do this.
I'll give you invoice.
I'm buying 5 tickets. How many tickets are you buying?
10.
How many tickets are you buying, Ashes?
15.
How many tickets are you buying?
20.
There you go.
No.
Yeah.
I need it on record. So I can make sales.
7 FM is a record.
All right.
Yeah, so,
Ghana DJ Awards.
Yes. So,
You do make still?
Now Silverbird. Just get the ticket at Silverbird. It's no queue. Or there's an online. It's a QR code that you go on my page. You find it there. Just scan on it, and then you can easily buy your ticket.
All right.
So yes, definitely we are supporting, Calibos, A Kiss Too Late. Very, very interesting, title. We'll see how late the kiss comes, when we get there. So I'd like to say a big thank you, first of all, to, the multimedia group led by Joy Entertainment for the immense support to Africa's biggest DJ event, the Guinness Ghana DJ Awards, powered by Smirnoff. It's been a very dynamic journey. If you look over the past 13 years, how we have, ameliorated the DJ space.
That's the word.
Yes.
Ameliorated. No, if he doesn't use that word,
Yes.
he didn't come.
No, I didn't come. That's a signature word.
Ameliorated.
Yes. So
Hallelujah.
it's going to be an awesome experience this year. Look out for that. So it is not an event; it's an experience. Make sure you don't miss it. We started our countdown on the 29th of November, 2024. We're doing a 365-day, countdown to the show, but we are launching it officially on the 12th of July. That's next week Saturday at Luna. So this is where we get to mention, the acts you should look out for, any new categories, and all of that. It's not too late, for all the brands that actually want a brand to associate with and get value. So I'll put a number out, 0274 10 10 30. We want the story to be different this time. No free tickets. We also want to be able to get, great props for the likes of Kwabna, who will be performing on the night. So 0274 10 10 30.
Okay.
This is...
I like that.
This is, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Ashes, yes, 20 seconds.
So my brother Mercury says we're performing on the night. Our bill is 50,000.
Discounted.
Alrighty.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
But I want to thank Joy FM
Okay.
for the immense support they've given brand Kwabna.
Awesome.
They've added a big impact on the brand.
Okay.
Each time we run to them, Philip Na and the team are, they have open
Always
arms for
ready.
us.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again next year, so I know we're on. Philip and I.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ashes, to you, Soraya, Calibos, and then Mercury Quay. Not forgetting Obi Amponsa. It's been Showbiz A to Z here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Kwame Dadzie. Show brought to you by MTN everywhere you go and Superstar Multi-Food Drink. And the show was produced by Philip Nye, supported by Anita Tay, with Olivier Fangnan on social media. Big shouts to you, Camido, who is listening with the team, and he's unveiling his cover art for his upcoming album, Trust in God. All right, so we are back same time next week right here on Joy 99.7 FM, leaving you in the hands of Camido, who says Ayiko. Ayiko to all of you.